feminism means. You listen to the voices of women, not just the ones you agree with. And that's the problem with now in NARAL. They don't want to listen to these voices. They want to silence these voices. And we're not going to do it, are we? You know, we've been coming to the march, many of us, for many years, coming here and saying, you know, Roe v. Wade should end and abortion should be overturned. And then the National Organization for Women, you know, they were here last night to celebrate choice. You know, their bodies, their choice, their right. And they claim to speak for all women. Well, we're here to say they don't represent us. There are women out there that know through experience that abortion hurt them.
That's right.
Abortion hurt them physically. Abortion hurt them emotionally, psychologically, spiritually. The goal of the Silent No More Awareness campaign is to get the message out. Because we want to make abortion, we want Roe v. Wade overturned. But whether it's legal or illegal, we want abortion to be an unthinkable choice for any woman in an unplanned pregnancy.
A little bit more about the campaign. This is our 4th year that we're doing this, and we have held over 110 gatherings throughout the country, as well as in Ireland, Canada, and this April we will be in Scotland and England and Ireland again. We are growing, and worldwide we are silent no more. Over 1,600 women have had the courage to stand up with us over the course of 110 gatherings in 44 states. Please pray for more and more women to hear this message, and men, to find the healing and to join us in being silent no more.
The biggest honor in my life was to be the national spokesperson for the Silent No More Awareness campaign and stand, as each of us do, next to each other, these brave men and women who are telling God's truth and the truth about abortion. It's so important. I think back when I accepted the Lord at 38 years old, late in life, and I was in love with Jesus. And things changed in my life. But the first time that I addressed my abortion publicly, an abortion that happened in the early 70s, was in my first book, an autobiography aptly titled Surviving Myself. And I found myself out in the ranks talking to and sometimes debating people from NARAL and various organizations, Planned Parenthood, and was aghast when they would have the audacity to make the statement on TV or whatever that abortion is a simple procedure, a safe procedure, which it's not. It's as simple as getting your tonsils out or going to the dentist, and you could be back at school or at work on Monday. That it's nothing, an inconvenience. I was then led to ask these women had they ever had an abortion, which is at what point they said no. That was the point I said, well, I can tell you that experience overrides theory on this issue. You ask any of these women and anyone who has been around abortion, that abortion hurts women and families, not just the babies. It's a devastating experience.
To be here, and this is my first March for Life, and I pray for all of us that this is our last. You know, you're going to hear a lot of testimonies, and I've heard several here from women referring to the guy in their life that played a role in their abortion. I'm here today because I was that guy. About 26 years ago, after a tour in the Army and in my first year of college, I got a girl pregnant. One of us was in love, and it wasn't me. I bought into the lies that by writing an inexpensive check, my problem could easily go away. And I used all the common excuses and lies that we were told. And this was my reasoning for not living up to my responsibility. I was still in college, I was too young, no money, and of course I knew that we had no future together. Besides, it's only a blob of tissue. That was the biggest lie, and that was the closure on how I distanced myself from that actual act that was about to be done. And by being the guy, it gave me the added advantage to distance myself by even farther. I did not have to go through the process that you're hearing these ladies describe today. All I had to do was drive her to the clinic and pick her up afterward. We never talked about it after that, and neither did I for 26 years, never a word. Because of those lies, it was easy to bury. About 10 years ago now, when I came back to my faith and got married, it was then that I truly realized what I had done. When the doctors told my wife and I that we could not have our own children, the emotions and that guilt came pouring in. Was I being punished for not protecting my first child? As a man, we are called to be the protectors, especially of the young. But because of those lies, I ran away from that responsibility. I murdered that child, my child. No semantics, no excuses, no lies can defend or describe it as anything other than that. And I regret my lost fatherhood. But I was not being punished, and I have been forgiven. First, I've been able to forgive myself. My wife has willingly and quickly forgiven me.
I'm Alvita King, and I want to tell you about the violation of the civil rights of Philip Andrew and Jessica Kay. In 1968, my uncle, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., was assassinated. And during his lifetime, he said that the Negro cannot win if he's willing to sacrifice the lives of his children for personal comfort and safety. So he was killed in 1968, and then in 1969, my dad, his brother, was killed. And he was killed 1 week after I got married. 9 months later, Dad was killed in the civil rights movement as his brother Martin. 9 months later, I had my firstborn. Within a very few months after that, I was pregnant again. I went to the doctor, and I said, "Doctor, I'm not having a cycle. What's going on?" And the doctor said, "You don't need another baby. Let's see." So he did an involuntary D&C, they called it back then, but that was my first abortion. I didn't ask for that one. A few years later, I found myself divorced with attachment disorder issues, couldn't get along with my husband. I was distancing myself from my young son and tried to reconcile. 1973, January 22nd, which happens to be my birthday, Roe versus Wade passed. I tried to get back with the baby's daddy, found myself pregnant again. And the baby's daddy says, "Well, we don't need a baby. We're having enough problems." So this time, I participated in the violation of those civil rights of Jessica. Didn't know it. Didn't know. I was told it was a blob of tissue, that it wouldn't hurt that much. It wouldn't be as bad as getting a tooth pulled. Insurance paid for it. And so here I am, a civil rights leader and activist. I had marched. I had gone to jail. Lost my Uncle Martin, my daddy, A.D., to the civil rights movement. Fought for the civil rights of all people. And here, the two little precious ones that were living in what was supposed to be a sanctuary called my womb ended up being in a tomb. And so for many years, I had many, many issues as a result. Attachment disorder, emotional issues, weight problems, depression, dreams. Was it a boy or was it a girl? Until a wonderful series of events. I was born again in 1983. And over a period of time, yes, I was. And I met Father Frank Pavone and Janet Morana. And I met Georgette and Dr. Teresa Burke. I went to Rachel's Vineyard and completed that healing. So from 83 until now, though, I was able to minister and tell others about the forgiveness and the shed blood of Jesus Christ.